responsibly. And Mr. Donnelly, you mentioned about entitlement funding and inferred that that is one of the reasons why we cannot fund our defense needs. And so my question is this. Defense spending, particularly sequester, are hollowing out our defense infrastructure and will leave us with a hollowed-out military unable to meet the current and future threats to our national security. And but my question to you is this. What's worse, a hollowed-out military and inability to respond to the current challenges to our national security and those that will arise in the future most certainly, or is it a hollowed-out social safety net with millions of poor, hungry, and homeless children, elderly and mentally and physically ill Americans all clamoring and solely dependent upon private charity for their basic sustenance? Which is worse?
Both those things are bad. The worst case of all is paying for my entitlements. I'm not yet poor. I don't intend to become poor. And
you do realize that there are many poor people out there.
I do, but the entitlement...
You realize that...
But you're not talking about entitlements when you're talking about poverty. You're talking about the middle class.
You also recognize that... Hold on.
You're going to be paying... Social Security and other entitlements are going to be paying for my baby boomer retirement. I would sacrifice some slice of that to protect the poor and to give people who need in this society a decent quality of life and to protect us all as Americans.
Well, certainly.
I think take my slice.
I think most of us would agree with you. Most of us would have some affinity for the idea of perhaps removing caps on social income subject to Social Security taxes, those kinds of things that would strengthen our so-called entitlements. But you did not answer my question, though. What is worse, a hollowed-out military or a hollowed-out social safety net, which affects millions of poor children, elderly, sick, both mentally and physically? What is worse?
Okay, that's a false choice that I won't make. We're a wealthy society. We can afford to defend ourselves, and we can afford to take care of our the people who need help in our society.
Well, I think your comments were indicative of wanting to just totally cut and obliterate the entitlement spending.
I said we were spending too much on entitlements. I didn't say that we should obliterate or eliminate the entitlement programs.
Current levels of spending on entitlement programs is too much, and current spending on defense is too little.
That in bottom line terms, I would agree with that.
All right. I just wanted to get you on record on that. I have, unless any of the other members of the panel wanted to respond, I would have no other questions. I'll yield back, Mr. Chairman.
Gentleman yields back. Mr.